Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Lisa and this is Vinley Place. My grandkids are going to be coming over for the weekend, so I wanted to get them some peanut butter, jelly, and bread made. It's going to be really hot this weekend, so I'm not going to want to cook a lot, no more than necessary anyway. And they just absolutely love peanut butter and jelly. It was a staple in my house when my kids were growing up, and it's a staple for them as well. So this is a sourdough sandwich bread. Now I did add just a little yeast to it. I think like maybe right around a quarter teaspoon, something like that. Only because I just wanted to cut down on the rise time a little bit. Otherwise I wouldn't have added the yeast. I would have just let it rise like normal. But I was starting kind of late in the day, so I didn't want it to wait overnight to rise. And then I'm also going to be making some homemade peanut butter and then some jelly. I usually make our own bread anyway, but I normally make just the normal sourdough bread for Vince and I. But since the kids are coming over, I figured I would make a sandwich bread. This is some of the stuff I wish I would have done when my kids were little, but I didn't really know what I know now. And I feel like most of the time when my kids were little, not maybe when they were teenagers, but when they were little ones, I felt like I was mostly in survival mode. So making homemade peanut butter and jam or jelly and bread was probably not on my list of things to make sure I get done. You know how it is when you're a young parent. Sometimes you're just functioning in survival mode. It is what it is, right? We all live and learn. But now, I try to make sure that we have as healthy a food as possible. I like to know what all of the ingredients are that go into our food. And bread is a big thing for us. I love bread. Anything bread, cake, pie, bread, everything, biscuits, you name it. So I like making my own so that way I know exactly what is going in it, and there's not really that many preservatives. Again, I just really wish I would have done more of this when my kids were little. But it is what it is. When you know better, you do better, right? So now I'm just going to make some blueberry jam. The first cup of blueberries was from a cookout we had, and the rest of the blueberries are out of a bag. And I'm just using a cup of white sugar and a tablespoon of lemon juice. I'm going to mix all of that together and let it cook down till, it gets most of the moisture out and it's gellable. And I'll just throw it in some jars and I'll just keep them in the fridge. I really like using my own ingredients again, so I can just kind of control what goes into it. I'm going to mash them up as they're cooking so they're not so many berries in it, since it's for the kids. They like theirs a little smoother, but it's so tasty when you make homemade jelly, and it's so simple. And I got a bag of peanuts, and they're Simply Truth, so they're organic, non-GMO. I do have a bag of peanuts that are shelled that I like to use, but again, I was just kind of pressed for time, so I just used these up. They're really good. And it works out really nice either way. And I also add honey for sweetener and a little vanilla just for some extra flavor, just a little kick. And then I get organic peanut oil, and that stuff is a little bit expensive, so I don't use it often. I just use it mostly for my peanut butter. And I'll put just a little bit in there, just enough to try and help get it to beat up a little bit without tearing up my food processor, because it gets really hot. It takes about 10 minutes to get it nice and creamy the way that I like it. When it first gets done in the food processor, it's still warm and it's a little bit thinner than what you would normally use. But after you put it in the refrigerator for a little while, it thickens right up, and it's the consistency of normal creamy peanut butter. And so it works out pretty good. So I like to make sure mine's just a little bit thinner when it first gets done. That way, after it sits in the fridge, it doesn't get too thick. When you add the honey and the vanilla and the little bit of salt, it thickens it right up. And so it's just very tasty. Now I've used this peanut butter to bake cookies with as well, and it works really, really good. It just gives the cookies a whole different taste. I will not personally buy store-bought peanut butter anymore. I will just stick with making my own. It's a little time consuming, especially when you have to shell your peanuts, but in the long run it's really worth it because you know everything that's in them. You know that you're not really getting too many GMOs, and you're not eating anything crazy. So then I'm just going to put it in the jar, and I was going to put the lid on. I was like, oh wait, it's warm. I need to let it cool off first. So I took the jar back off. So now my jelly's done, or jam, I guess it is. And I'm just going to put it in these jars, and I'm just going to flip them upside down. I'm not going to water bath them or anything because it's just a very small batch. One jar will keep here, and one I'll just send home with the kids when they go home on Sunday. And so I'm just going to flip them upside down and let them seal up a little bit and cool off and gel and do all the things that they do. Now this is the stretch and fold. I did this 4 times every half hour, just like with normal sourdough bread. This is honestly one of my favorite things to do. I don't know why. You could just feel the bread getting thicker, and it just, I don't know, it's just really cool. It feels kind of like Play-Doh. And I always liked to play with Play-Doh when I was a kid too. So I'm going to cover it up and I'm going to let it rise. Now I did this every half hour for 4 times, and then I just let it sit and do a bulk rise. But because the yeast was in it, it didn't take 6 or 8 hours. It only took like 3. So that worked out pretty good. So this dough is enough for 2 loaves, and it looks like a lot of dough, doesn't it? But it just makes 2 really nice sized loaves. And I know some people like to use water on their hands. I like to use the flour. I tried water a couple of times, and my dough just got too mushy, or too much. Maybe I just added too much water. I don't know. So I just use flour, just an all-purpose flour, and that works out pretty good. And like I said, these are going to make 2 big loaves, and it just comes out really nice when you add just a little bit of yeast to it. It makes a really nice bread dough, and it still has that distinctive sourdough tang to it. Do you guys make sourdough? Does anybody make sourdough? It's one of the things I've been practicing. My sourdough isn't great yet, but it's not bad. It's getting better and better. I found that using King Arthur bread flour works really well. When I first started, I used all-purpose flour. That was what some of the recipes I come across called for. But I found the bread flour, does make a huge difference. And the King Arthur, I really like that. It makes a really nice bread. And so here's my technique. I've been practicing it. Not real good at it yet, but I keep trying. Every time you try something, you get a little better than you were last time. But this bread is really soft, and it's really tasty. It's you don't really taste any sweetness or anything, but it does have a distinct, like I said, the sourdough tang. But it also has, I don't know, just kind of a hint of sweetness to it. I don't know. It's really good though. So I'm going to cover them with some oiled plastic wrap, and I'm just going to let them rise until they pop over the top of the pan. And they'll even rise more in the oven once I start to bake them. And they come out really nice. And I'm going to put them in a 400-degree oven for 30 minutes. My kitchen got excessively hot. That was another reason why I wanted to get them done before the kids got here, just because I knew it was going to be so hot. But they turned out really good. You'll see them here as soon as I pull them out. Nice and golden on top. They look really pretty and really tasty. What I should have done though is, and I didn't even think about it, is I should have cut little slits in the top to let the extra air out. Because they kind of popped over, I don't want to say they popped open, but they kind of popped out on the side. But otherwise they came out really good, and I just let them cool overnight. And so now let's try the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Here's my blueberry jam, very tasty. It turned out really good. And then I'm going to show you my peanut butter, and as you can see, it thickened up really well in the refrigerator. I had some of it last night with a banana, actually, the night before this. And peanut butter and banana is like my favorite. Peanut butter and pickle is really good too. See, look at that bread. It comes out very nice. It's nice and fluffy. It's crispy on the outside and tender on the inside, and it's just really, really good. I know some people like more jam, and some people like more peanut butter on their sandwich. Which one are you? Me, I'm a peanut butter lover. I like more peanut butter than jam, but I still like to have my jam on there though, because sometimes that peanut butter can be kind of dry. But this sandwich turned out really good. You see how nice and thick the bread is, and it's just very tasty. It makes a great sandwich. I've made it a few times. It's a good recipe. If you would like it, let me know, and maybe I'll do a video on how I make it exactly step by step. And then there's my sandwich. Just give her a try. Delish. It's fantastic. Well, that's it for today, guys. I'm going to finish up my sandwich. Thanks a lot for watching my video, and if you like it, I ask you to give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see some more of my content, just hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.